Hello fellas. Welcome back to Top 5 Choices. This is Haley from Top 5 Choices, and I hope you all are doing good. In today's video, I am going to do a detailed review and pick the top 5 best gaming laptops under $1,500, 2022. After doing proper researches, we came to the conclusion that meets the best in terms of overall. Kindly leave a like if you find this helpful, and I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications if you haven't. We will be also providing affiliates link to purchase from Amazon. Kindly use it for best offers and purchase from anywhere in the world. We'll be back with more videos. The Acer Nitro 5 brings with it quite a chunky, angular design. If you like black plastic with distinctive edges, then this could be the gaming laptop for you. The laptop has a certain amount of style to it, but there are certainly better looking models around, whether that's in terms of the design of the lid, which here has a very simple Acer logo on the back, or the available lighting options. You do get 4 zones of keyboard lighting to play around with, but nothing besides that. With dimensions of 255mm x 363mm x 2.4mm, that's 10 inches x 14.3 inches x 0.1 inches, and a weight of 3.6 kilograms, nearly 8 pounds, the laptop is reasonably portable and won't weigh a bag down too much. The power connector is around the back, and then you've also got an Ethernet port, an HDMI 2.1 port, 3 USB-A ports supporting up to USB 3.2 Gen 2, and a Thunderbolt 4 USB-C port. It's a decent selection of ports, and we should also mention that the latest Wi-Fi 6 standard is supported. You also get a webcam embedded just above the display. You can pick up the Acer Nitro 5 with either a 15.6-inch or a 17.3-inch 1920 by 1080 pixel IPS LCD display, and we were sent the smaller version for testing. It's a clear and crisp screen that works fine for movies and web browsing as well as games, though there's no danger of it being confused with the very best display panels on the laptop market at the moment. It's not great in terms of vibrancy and brightness, and the surrounding bezels are rather thick for modern laptops, but it does a job. The Dell G15 Ryzen edition might be affordable, but it's still one of the boldest looking gaming laptops you can buy. It's dominated by a light shade that Dell calls Phantom Gray, and it's finished with a darker speckled pattern. Elsewhere, the hinge and rear section are chunky and darker, and there are orange G logos on the wrist rest and corner. The Dell stands out when compared to its rivals. The Lenovo is smart and subtle, while the MSI is dark and dated. The Dell has impressive build quality, too. It's strong enough to carry in a bag. Dell's machine might look good, but it's not slim or light. It weighs 2.44 kilograms and its body is 26.9 millimeters thick, and that hefty rear section means that it's 273 millimeters deep too. That makes it larger than both of its rivals, albeit not by a huge amount. The MSI is smaller than the Dell and Lenovo. The Dell has mediocre connectivity around its hefty chassis, too. It's got one USB 3.2 Gen 1 port and a USB-C connector that supports DisplayPort, but its 2 additional full-size USB ports use the slower USB 2.0 standard, and there's no card reader and no Windows Hello support on the webcam. On the inside, there's dual-band Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth and Gigabit Ethernet, which is fine. The Lenovo is far better for connectivity. It's littered with faster USB ports. The Dell G15 Ryzen Edition's 15.6 inches display has a 1920 by 1080 resolution, which is ideal for gaming on this GPU, but it only has a 120Hz refresh rate. That's acceptable for mainstream gaming, but the MSI and Lenovo laptops sit at 144Hz and 165Hz respectively. You'll get faster, smoother gaming on both panels, and those speeds are better suited to esports. The display's best attribute is its contrast. The Lenovo Legion 5 Pro is a solidly built gaming laptop that doesn't really take any risks with its overall design. The look is your standard gaming laptop aesthetic, with the lid of the laptop looking like the hood of a sports car with an RGB Legion logo in the center. On the flip side, literally, the air intake isn't as expansive as on Gigabyte Aorus gaming laptops, for instance, and with the RTX 3070 running full steam, expect that this laptop is going to run hot under strain. Speaking of form factor, the Legion 5 Pro isn't exactly thin. Weighing in at 5.4 pounds / 2.54 kilograms and 1.1 inches / 26.85 millimeters thick, it's not going to be the most portable gaming laptop you're going to find, especially with its rather large power adapter. The larger form factor does leave room for a full-sized keyboard though, which is definitely a plus. That does lead to the keys being somewhat cramped, but it's not so much that we would take points off for it. The keys also have good travel, and overall, the keyboard and trackpad are the kind of quality you normally get in a Lenovo laptop, which are generally excellent. When it comes to gaming performance, the Lenovo Legion 5 Pro is about as good as you're going to find in an RTX 3070 gaming laptop. Even without any hardware performance optimization courtesy of Lenovo Vantage, the Legion 5 Pro outperforms the Asus Zephyrus in terms of pure gaming performance, both in graphics benchmarks and actual gaming experience. Where the Legion 5 Pro does come up short against the Zephyrus G15 we reviewed is its CPU performance. That isn't much of a surprise, considering the Zephyrus G15 is rocking an AMD Ryzen 9 5900HS and the Legion 5 Pro runs an AMD Ryzen 7 5800U. Still, even though the Legion 5 Pro comes up short in these tests, it doesn't fall far short of the Zephyrus G15. Aesthetically, the Acer Predator Helios 300 resembles many other Predator laptops. It's got a black metal chassis with two reflective strips and a Predator logo on the back, all lined in blue. At 14.3 by 10.0 by 0.9 inches, the computer is admirably compact, given the size of its screen. But at 5.5 pounds, it's a little heavier than the competition. Comparable Acer and Alienware laptops weigh around 4.5 pounds. There are also enough ports to get the job done, although I wasn't thrilled with their configuration. The left side has a headphone jack, two USB-A ports and an Ethernet port. The right side has a USB-C port, a USB-A port, an HDMI port and a mini display port. The power port is on the back of the machine. Out of everything else's way, the proximity of the USB-C and A ports on the right made it tough to attach any gadget that required a USB-C dongle while using a mouse, and you really need to use a mouse, because the touchpad is not great. If there's one reason to avoid the Acer Predator Helios 300 at all costs, it's the keyboard. At first, I was excited by the keyboard's numpad, a rarity in 15-inch laptops. But numpads don't make much of a difference if the keyboard isn't comfortable, and the Predator Helios 300 makes productivity typing just about impossible. Worse still, to facilitate the numpad, the rest of the keyboard is off-center, meaning that you'll have to position the whole laptop slightly to the side of where you want to use it. The most damning thing about the Helios keyboard is that it simply doesn't register every keystroke. The Asus TUF gaming lineup of laptops have always included good mid-range components for gaming on the go, and this year's model improves on the formula with even more powerful graphics components. The TUF Gaming F15 laptop refresh of 2022 now comes with the latest 11th Gen Intel Core CPUs, armed with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 that should be more than enough to power its 1080p screen with a high refresh rate. The new laptop also gets an update to its design and chassis, all of which helps in distinguishing itself from gaming laptops of the past. The TUF F15 shakes up its design with a new style that leaves behind the more gamer-centric aesthetics that plagued the entire gaming laptop landscape in the past few years. The laptop is well balanced, with its keyboard being comfortable to type on. It's nothing that compares to that in my MacBook Air, but I was happy enough to write more than half of this review on it as far as gaming laptops go. The trackpad is also quite serviceable, although the lack of capacitive touch did throw me in for a loop, as it instead uses two physical buttons at the bottom. As such, dragging and dropping items using just the touchpad didn't work half of the time. The laptop's 1080p display is well suited to the internals powering it, with our panel's 144Hz refresh rate compensating for the lack of color depth. The display is also a tad bit too smooth looking to my eyes, with colors looking flat, especially when watching movies. It also never got bright enough for comfortable use, even with the wall adapter plugged in, which does help a little bit. That's where the I/O ports can come in handy, with HDMI and even Thunderbolt 4.0 to expand your screen estate. Our Asus TUF F15 came with an 8-core/16-thread Intel Core i9-11900H, 16GB of RAM and an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060, all of which are powerful enough for the 144Hz 1080p display. For testing performance, we chose a variety of game titles such as Horizon Zero Dawn, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion, Cyberpunk 2077 and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Here's how the hardware fared against them at 1080p.